Yo, what's up? It's TND and welcome to another episode of TND Won't Shut Up,
where we discuss and debate relationship topics from a healthy couple's perspective.
Be sure to subscribe to our channel for weekly discussions and share with a friend or two.
Or three.
Or four.
Or five. How you doing, baby?
I'm doing excellent, baby. How are you?
I'm doing great, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was somewhat of a long week because we came back from our trip.
Yep.
Our New York trip.
Yep. And then I went out of town shortly after, I think Wednesday or something like that.
Midweek.
Yeah, I went on a little midweek trip to go see the family. So, yeah, so that was good. And now we are back. We have officially watched Never Ever Met. Is that what it's called, y'all?
Never Ever Met.
And I know
Episode 1.
Yeah, last week we kind of said that we ain't like it. Yeah, we tripping.
We changed our mind.
We changed our mind just like that. It was actually very good. We watched episode 1. We were hooked. We are so excited about recording now. And we're not going to record episode 1. We're not recording any commentary on that. It was a lot of information. It would have been great if we started, but we don't want to be so far behind. So we're just going to start on season 1, episode 2. What is it called, honey?
It is called It's Complicated IRL.
Yeah, we had to look up IRL.
Yeah.
It means in real life. We too old, baby.
Yeah.
Anyways, first of all, of course, we want to let you guys know the giveaway is still going on. It is super duper long, y'all. We realized we made this giveaway entirely too long. So we decided to kind of change the rules a little bit. And for additional entries, just comment on the video and we will enter you again. The giveaway
15th.
ends May 15th. Yeah. And yeah. So all you have to do is be subscribed to our channel, like the video, and then for your first entry, you got to comment down below. For your additional entry, you got to follow our Instagram at tnd.won'tshutup. That's on Instagram. And if you comment on any of our other videos, we'll count it as an additional entry for the drawing. So again, the drawing is $100 Amazon gift card. And who do not like Amazon? So y'all enter down below with your Instagram name, and we will put the instructions again in the notes of this video and also on the screen.
All right, let's get to it.
Let's get this party started. All right, y'all. So this episode came in hot. It kind of picked up where it left off in this first episode 1, where Dominique and Alexis were fighting. And he actually laid hands on her. That was like so wrong. And I'm so surprised that they aired something like this on live TV, because he literally laid hands on her. Pushed her, mushed her, called her out of her name. Like said something about her body, fake boobs and fake butt. This is just ghetto. They are giving ghetto. They're giving like Krishan and what's that guy named Blueface?
Yeah. Yeah,
that's what they're giving. It's just ghetto. What do you think, honey?
Extremely inappropriate, disrespectful, toxic. Now, I'm not going to place blame specifically on one or the other. I think it was just a complete hot mess. But, Dominique really started all this. He started with the whole jealousy. Obviously, he has possessive traits, and he couldn't get a grip of it. Right. And you saw it building up until eventually, they went back and forth in the last episode. No doubt about it. Alexis was throwing the hand in his face, definitely helping to escalate the situation. But under no circumstances whatsoever should a man ever put his hands on a woman. Right. Period. I don't care what that woman. I don't care if she threw a punch at him. Mm-hmm. So the minute he did that, he completely changed the game, violated, disrespected. And quite frankly, if they threw him off the show right then and there, I'm good with that.
Yeah, I agree. They actually put him in a hotel for the night. But they did kind of talk, and he took no accountability, babe. None. Like whatsoever. He still stand by what he did. It's just ghetto, y'all.
It was bad. And I don't see, honestly, we'll see how things progress, but I don't see how they're going to avoid other confrontations like this.
Yeah, they're not a good match at all. All right, y'all. So in the next scene, we have Josh and Shay. It looks like they just got out the shower. This is the couple that's been
12 years.
Virtually dating for 12 years, which makes absolutely no sense for me, for two adults to be dating 12 years and can't get on a plane. They're both the red flags.
I have questions.
I have a lot of questions.
Yes.
But he seemed like he had kids in between that relationship too.
Okay.
So maybe he had some. I don't know. To me, this whole thing are a bunch of side chicks.
Well,
because these people are dating other people, obviously.
Yeah,
right?
and I actually believe that maybe this is an acceptable thing between some of these people. Where it's kind of like we'll stay connected, but you do what you do, I'll do what I do. I don't know the specifics.
Yeah, because I would never do anything like that.
Yeah. But what I will say is, I mean, clearly the 12 years has brought them together because they do seem connected.
They do seem like they are connecting. The chemistry is there. The vibe is there. They both seem to really like each other. And they just seem like so natural around each other, right?
I agree.
Yeah, so, I mean, I hate to say it right now. I think I like it.
I'm not seeing any issues.
Yeah, I don't see any issues. But they took a shower together. She came out with her hair wrapped up and went to the ladies' room, and they just started having conversation. And they basically started talking about what happened the previous night with Dominique and Alexis. And basically saying that, if he did it on camera while the camera's rolling, he'll probably do it again, and that she needs to leave him alone. And then the camera hands over to the men having similar conversation. But it kind of seemed like, how men are. I think the men did not.
No.
They kind of...
I was actually hoping that someone was going to step out and say, that's completely unacceptable, that, he should probably leave the show. I mean, really take a stance.
Yes.
But I think... they were talking about his ego was hit. It's like, I don't care what was hit.
Yeah.
You never respond in that way.
Yes, by hitting a woman.
I'm not saying that they were excusing it per se, but I just felt like they could have been a little more strong and direct in how they perceived what occurred.
Yes, exactly, because his behavior was unacceptable. And it was not warranted at all. Absolutely. There's two Aarons on the show, young Aaron and old Aaron. So old Aaron is 51 years old. He's not really old, but you know what I mean. He's an older Aaron. So older Aaron started saying that he's been in an abusive relationship before. I guess the woman was beating on him, and basically saying that Dominique will probably do it again. And all of a sudden, well, first of all, I don't think grown Aaron is believable. I'm sorry, he just seemed like a fraud to me. I don't know why. We're going to keep watching, y'all, but I do not trust grown Aaron at all. But nonetheless, Alexis starts crying, and they're asking, and she's basically saying she doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, and she said she had never experienced anything like this. Yeah. So I can only imagine how, the emotions are starting to hit her.
I feel like she's going to take him back. What do you think, honey?
Yeah, I mean, I think for the sake of the show, they obviously want him to come back into the picture.
She just don't seem healthy, because to be dating, how long they been dating, maybe? 6 months. Wait, to be dating 6 months, but not even that. Dominique looked like a straight hood thug. He looked like a woman beater. So for her to date him or to find him attractive, even on the internet, I got questions, because he looks dangerous. He looked like a walking red flag. He don't have to open his mouth. But yeah, nonetheless, y'all. Anything else you want to add?
That's all I got.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. All right, in the next scene, the host Taronda has a sit down with Alexis, and basically she wanted to understand what occurred from Alexis's perspective, and she pretty much laid out what occurred, and she asked her how she feels, and of course she said she felt hurt, that she's never experienced anything like that. Then Taronda said that Dominique actually made a video, and she wanted to show it to Alexis.
Right.
And, apparently this was an apology video from Dominique. And,
weak.
Of course, he was trying his best to sound genuine. All right. I ain't buying any of that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Not.
I mean, look at what you just did. It doesn't matter what you say. And by the way, people who do this, they've mastered the apology, right? Because they're needing to do it every single time they pull a stunt like this. And then if you really keyed into the last thing that he said in that video, he said, you know what? It really ain't that deep. It's like trying to take accountability here, but then writing it off as if it's just something that happens.
Yeah.
But almost as disturbing was the fact that Alexis ends up smiling.
Yeah,
as if she acknowledged it as a heartfelt, genuine apology. And this is really sad, because this is exactly why women end up finding themselves dealing with men that are abusive time and time again. I think most of us know what he exhibited within less than 24 hours of meeting this woman, that means that's a deep-rooted issue.
Yes.
And it is not going away anytime soon.
Look what he looked like. Tattoos up and down his neck, 2 silver chains, golds in his mouth, tattoo on his face. Come on, y'all. Those people normally they're not usually good people. So, yeah, judge a book by its cover, please.
All right, so Tyrande ends up, stating that, they have a policy on the show, no putting your hands on each other, whether it be, male to female, female to female, whatever the case may be, nothing physical. And if that's done, then both people have to leave the show. And then she informs Alexis that, unfortunately, Dominique definitely has to go. But as a result of Dominique going, obviously, Alexis needs to go as well.
Right.
And you know what? I'm cool with that.
Me too. They got to take a stance to show that.
You can get arrested for that.
Yes.
Right? And to let him back on the show is to, in some way, condone that behavior for the sake of the show, and that's not acceptable.
Yeah. And I was hoping that... do you feel like... I think Alexis would have took him back. Right?
It seems like it,
yeah,
but we don't know.
Ain't no telling. So what I want to say is judge a book by its cover. I know that everybody's saying don't judge a book by its cover. For me, first impression is all we have. So if we see somebody that looks like him, stay clear. All right, y'all. So in the next scene, we have Sienna and Brandon. Sienna and Brandon. Sienna is 43 and Brandon is 44. No, 35. He looks a lot older, I'll be honest with you. But nonetheless, Brandon lives in New York. No, Sienna lives in New York and Brandon lives in Florida. And they're basically talking about the distance. And she's saying that she's willing to check him out, willing to travel, and willing to move for love, right?
Yeah.
Brandon has 2 kids. He has a 4-year-old and a 13-year-old. And he looks like a very proud father. The smile on his face talking about his kids. And I highly doubt that he wants to move to New York to be far away from his kids. So it only makes sense for Sienna to move to Florida. But truth be told, Sienna doesn't really seem like she's interested, right, babe?
Yeah, I'm not sensing that. At least in this short discussion.
Yeah, so far I don't see it. Even since episode 1, I don't really see it.
So then they move over to Alexis again. Obviously she's kind of passing along the news to everybody in the house that she's going to be leaving. Mm-hmm. And of course, some of the women were a little bit emotional about it. I think she even got a little emotional as well. It's an unfortunate situation, but I think it's in her best interest. And she seemed to actually be, accepting it well and understanding that, she needs to move on. From what I'm hearing as she's leaving, things sound like pretty good, that she's recognizing what just occurred and making the appropriate decision. But we all know this is so fresh. And what she's saying now could be totally different than what she does even a couple days from now.
Right.
So I'm hopeful that she sticks to her guns and never talks to this guy again.
Yeah. Leave this man alone. Stay clear of Dominique.
Yes.
All right. So in the next scene, we have Chris and Sandia. This couple kind of is strange to me. These two, he is 35 and she is 27 or something like that. What's the ages, honey? She's 27. He is 34 years old. They both live in the city of Miami, Florida. And why haven't y'all met? Like, you had to come all the way to LA to meet? Like, you didn't even need to pay for a flight. That's driving.
Yeah.
That's a little strange to me. I don't understand it. Nonetheless, my girl Sandy is Haitian, so shout out to the Haitian. Woohoo! Anyways, yeah. But yeah, this scene was kind of confusing to me, baby. Go ahead and break that down.
Yeah, so, of course, Sandia overheard Chris when she was talking to the fellas in the kitchen. I gotta assume that, they were all drinking. He already comes off to me as kind of a flamboyant, designer wearing, insecure type man. And so, of course, an opportunity to be amongst men, kind of boasting yourself up, talking about how many women you have, talking about how you can't trust women, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I've heard this talk before. It's a lot of bravado. And, she happened to overhear some of this. So now they're sitting here discussing that. And, rightfully so, Sandia should be concerned about some of the things that she heard. Especially if they conflict with what she's come to know of him in this 3-month period.
Right.
And based off of her reaction, I gotta believe that it did throw her off.
Yeah.
And she said that she felt, some kind of way about the way that he was talking, because it essentially kind of is disrespecting her, making her look some kind of way. Also, she was concerned with the fact that he said that, you know, he doesn't trust any women. So, of course, she's thinking, you know, well, damn, you know, then what is this? You know, can you not trust me? You know, so, you know, I personally did not like the way he was answering those questions. Nothing in there reassured her of his position and where he truly stands. As a matter of fact, he was just kind of saying, you know, I am not going to change how I feel and what I say, period. And then also he started to, you know, raise his voice a little bit. I didn't like the tone. And, you know, she seems like a more coy, shy type woman. Maybe she'll push back a little bit, but have her limits. And so I'm already seeing kind of a controlling nature there.
Right.
So I'm not liking what I see. And by the end of that conversation, you know, she ended up kind of just accepting the situation for what it is, even though he really truly didn't explain himself and he didn't actually justify his behavior
at all.
Yeah, so I am going to assume that there could still be more issues down the line. We've just scratched the surface.
Right, exactly. She's saying that she'll fight for it, and as long as he apologizes, she's willing to work towards this relationship. I'm like, child, y'all only been together for 3 months, and he's showing his true colors. Goodbye, good riddance. Like, and on that, she's such a meek, mild-mannered person. Like, I think this man will walk all over her. And he's not going to create a safe space for her either. So I don't like this. Sandia, my Haitian princess, please dismiss yourself. He's not the one. And he comes out very flashy. I don't like those kind of men.
All I had to see was the picture of him in some designer Hermes suit, red suit, in front of a luxury car, like a Lamborghini. I don't even know what it is. I'm not going to judge any man that I don't know and haven't had an opportunity to talk to, but I am big on first impressions. And when I see men leading with that type of stuff, pictures like that, you know, I'm already going to start my dialogue with you, assuming you're coming from an insecure place and you're trying to make up for it by having all this luxury stuff and leading with ego. You understand?
And there's nothing wrong with luxury. I just think it's the flashy stuff. He's very flashy. Yeah. Because I got some luxury pieces. So.
Absolutely. No, it's not just luxury. Yeah. But when you lead with luxury, then I got questions.
Yes, exactly. He's super duper flashy. So in the next scene, we have Joanna and Aaron. Aaron, I call him Atlanta ATL. Young Aaron, I will give him, because there's two Aarons. Young Aaron, and they've been dating for 9 months, and honestly, this is not a match. Joanna seems so mean. She seems so disinterested. She was mean on the first date, and she seemed extremely rude. She seems disengaged, right, babe?
Absolutely.
And they've been dating for 9 months, and truth be told, y'all, I don't even know if Aaron is straight. He lives in Atlanta. He got these 2 big earrings. I'm not getting straight man vibes, and it shouldn't take her 9 months to know that. Like, she should, maybe she was in FaceTiming. Because to me, this man does not appear straight. What do you think, honey?
I honestly don't know about his sexual preferences, but she is definitely disengaged from this man.
Yeah.
And you know what's interesting with her is I don't really think it's him. I think she has those type of qualities where, you know, it's kind of I do what I want to do kind of thing on my terms. You know, for example, everyone ended up getting in the hot tub. I think he was the first one in the hot tub. He had invited her in, and she was like, "Oh, no, I'm good. You go ahead and do it yourself." And it's like, and he felt like she wasn't putting in any effort.
Yeah.
And it's very obvious that she's not. You know, right. And so when a woman exhibits that type of behavior, I really don't think it's specific to one man. And don't get me wrong, if she does really like the man, she may cover it up a little bit, you know, because of her interest. But over time, that type of behavior will come out.
Right.
I just think you're seeing it right out the gate here because she's not interested in her.
And he also made an excuse for her. Like, he was just like, what did he say?
He said that he's used to clingy women, that he's not really a clingy person. So he's okay with this. Yeah. But we know he's not okay with this.
He's not okay with it at all.
He's rationalizing.
Yeah, it's actually embarrassing, to be honest, the way she's treating him, right?
It is.
It's very embarrassing. And then he pointed out that Greg and Millie, he was like, y'all seem to be vibing. And he pointed at them with his little spirit fingers. I don't know about this man, y'all. Yeah. But we're going to Greg and Millie, who's been dating for 3 years, which is a little strange because they both live in LA, right?
Yep.
I don't know why they couldn't just drive and go on a date, but
I'm thinking that, they're connected on social media. There's kind of a mutual understanding that, we'll talk every now and then, but we're not really dating.
But why? Why wouldn't you go see the person that you
I don't understand. Online? I don't understand.
And y'all live in the same city. Like the other ones had excuses because they lived in different states, which is they're grown, so they could have caught a flight. But this one is worse. It's just like the Haitian girl. Y'all live in the same city. Why are y'all not linking up? When y'all ain't got no car, y'all got a baby mama at home, something. It's just off. Yeah. It doesn't make sense. And this is why I was not really interested in watching this show, because I just felt like it's just a weird concept. But we'll keep watching.
Yeah, and I will say they do seem to be very even keeled, kind of just taking it as it goes. Right. They actually are an attractive looking couple together. So what I'm seeing is good right now.
Yeah, and they seem to be on the same page, and they talk about how they're honest. And that's what's basically keeping things together, that they're both very honest, both very transparent. And he's the same person that she's been FaceTiming all along. So I like it. But it's still strange. We have one more, Sandia and her man. Sandia was doing her submissive Haitian lady thing and cooking, and she said something about, you want some sugar? And he was like, no, I don't like sugar. So
I don't like that, dude.
Me neither.
I'm sorry. No. That behavior, like his tone, I'm telling you, we're just seeing the beginning of this with him.
Yeah, this is a very insecure man. He takes it out on women. On to the next, y'all.
On to the next. All right, so in the next scene, Taronda gets the group together for kind of a group experience. Actually, I thought it was extremely creative. It was based on the Kama Sutra. Anybody that knows the Kama Sutra, obviously, is a plethora of positions. And each couple would be kind of in the center of the circle and have to pick one of two positions.
Right. But before we started that, baby, Taronda actually introduced herself to the men because this was her first time meeting the guys. And then she also introduced the Boom Boom Room, where if the couples want to get intimate, it's a separate room for them to have some privacy.
Yes.
So I like that. I thought it was,
and that is cool because I think there's going to be moments where people finally take that step.
Yeah.
And we'll get to know that they're doing it. Right. So that's pretty cool.
I like that.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
yeah. So first up was Chris and Sandia. Chris had to sit Indian style, and then Sandia sat on top of him, basically Indian style, with her legs wrapped around his back, but straddling him. Definitely a sensual position, an intimate position, because both are face to face and really close to one another. Taronda asked, what are they feeling in that moment? Right. Does Chris have any words that he wants to say? And I think he, kind of looked at her directly and, stated that he's really enjoying the situation and he envisions a long-term with her. We already shared how we feel about that situation, but I will say it was pretty decent, though, for what it was. I'm not going to question whether he was genuine in that moment, but she definitely received it that way.
Well, she seems very passive and she's going to receive anything. But I did write down that Sandia has no or limited expression. Like, I can't tell what she's thinking. She seems to be deep in her head, you think?
I agree. Yeah, and with everything that has occurred, she doesn't really show emotion.
Yeah. Remember last episode on the when she was asking, do you like the helicopter day? And she just had like a blank expression.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's a little strange. She seems, I don't know. She seems very boring and he'll probably cheat on her.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to jump to that conclusion, but
yeah, she seemed like somebody who will make the house, be the homemaker. He out getting in with other people and then coming home, and she seemed like she might not even have a voice to express the way she's feeling. That's what I'm getting from this. I don't like it.
All right. So next up, we had Shay and Josh. What did you think of them?
Shay and Josh, they're the one that's been together for 12 years. Clearly, they already said it. They already had sex. They admitted to having a great sexual session, and they also admitted to doing both Kama Sutra positions last night. So they seem to be vibing. I ain't gonna lie. This 12-year couple, I thought they were the strangest, but the connection seems to be there. He seemed to be smitten. She seems happy. Sexual chemistry is there. They seem like they're on the same page, a little wild, fun, and free. Yeah. And I like it.
I do like, and clearly they didn't even have to wait to find out about the boom boom room.
Right? They probably had, yeah.
Yeah. And then we had Aaron J and Joanna.
Well, young Atlanta Aaron and Joanna.
We already knew this was not going to go well. It was awkward right out the gate. From selecting the position. To when they were in the position. Obviously, it wasn't a very intimate position in that, they weren't actually facing one another. Right. He was kind of on top of her. She was face down. But, when Taronda was asking Joanna how she felt, Joanna's more in her sex coach mode, because apparently she does some sex coaching, right. Explaining all these different things as opposed to what it's making her feel about Aaron. And this is not surprising at this point. I mean, there is, forget the Kama Sutra position. I mean, there's nothing intimate about these two, let alone trying to have an intimate moment in an intimate position. You know what I'm saying?
They're not a match. She's going to run all over him. He like that. He loved that position. He really does. And he said he want to try it in the future.
Yeah, I don't see them even having sex, to be honest with you. I think this is going to fizzle. I didn't see any chemistry, definitely no sexual chemistry in that moment. I actually don't know what they have. And apparently everyone else sees it that way as well. Yep. Then we had Greg and Millie. What you think about that?
Great chemistry, great connection. I like the position that they chose. Seemed to be really vibing, connecting. And on all levels, right?
I agree. Do you think she was tense a little bit, though, when he first...
She was, of course. Who wouldn't be tense? Spreading your legs in front of everybody. Like, it's... Yeah.
I don't know.
I would be tense, too.
Aaron... Well, who was it? Shay and Josh didn't seem tense.
Well, Shay and Josh is that type of couple. Yeah. But, yeah. I like them. They're actually the cutest. Seem genuine, and they actually seem like they can work because they're both in the same city.
Yeah.
Similar age. Yeah, I like them.
Yeah, and she did say that there is a sexual chemistry there. She said they will eventually go there, but that she needs a little bit more sapio activity first before she gets to that point. Mm-hmm. And then we had Aaron, older Aaron, and Diamond. And, they did well. I think they're connected as well. We know that as they start to peel back the layers, there could be some issues, right?
Well, he proposed to somebody online. Remember what she said last episode?
And that's just that.
Yeah.
We don't know what else could have occurred. But what I will say is because of their age.
What are their ages and where are they from and stuff?
Yeah, I believe Aaron's in his 50s.
51. And she's
Diamond's
44.
in her 40s.
And how long they been dating?
5 years.
5 years. He's from LA and she's from Sanford, Florida. They've been dating for 5 years. Again, two grown-ups in their 50s. Y'all should have got a flight and just go see each other. Yeah. I know they live across country, but still, it's just a Spirit flight. Diamond, you're in Florida, so... A Spirit flight to LA costs you $22 round trip.
Right.
Yeah, this is I don't know, but they do seem to be vibing. He said that they seem like they're on the same page sexual wise. Like they're pretty open. They don't mind people watching.
And he does seem really genuinely into her, not just sexually, just in general. He said he would suck her toes in the street, in public, and this, that, and the other. I don't believe this man. I feel
like he's just all talk. I don't know why, and I could be wrong, but I don't believe him.
And then the last couple was Sienna and Brandon.
I don't know what happened, y'all. That was very awkward. The position that they chose, and they both seemed like they were not into it. They said that Sienna was into it, but I didn't see it on nobody. He said he was bored.
Yes.
Something just like a switch just flipped. Is that what you say? Flipped?
Yes.
Yeah. The switch just flipped. Something is off about them. I don't know what it is. We are watching as we go, y'all, by the way. I didn't see any chemistry, and they weren't hiding it. They were not hiding it.
Yeah, it was very awkward. She clearly wasn't into it when she sat on him. And then I guess he sensed that, so he's saying he's bored, and that in turn made her feel even less engaged with him. And so I think it just spiraled downhill from that point. But we all know that didn't happen in the moment. I think their dialogue prior to this has already started to show that there's some incompatibilities between the two. And so we're going to see where this goes. Yeah. I don't think it's a good place, though.
Yeah, I think this is a done deal.
Okay. All right, so we're moving to the next.
On to the next. In the next scene, we have Greg and Millie just basically talking about their sexual connection, sexual chemistry, and, they're basically their timelines and when they feel that time will come and how it's going to be and just kind of, right, baby?
Yep.
Anything else? Nothing much?
No, I just sense that he's more of a free-spirited, open person in regards to sexuality. And I'm getting conservative vibes from her. I think, she was kind of like making it a point to say, okay, well, it doesn't matter what everyone else does. It doesn't matter the timing of what people are doing. We're not going to feel pressure to do that. We'll do it when we're ready. It's like she's just really laying everything out. And, personally, I feel like, when you're not dealing with a very conservative person, then you kind of let things flow, right? Because, eventually it'll go there when it's time to go there. I think her conservative nature is causing her to kind of lay almost like some ground rules for how this will go down.
Right.
That's what I'm sensing.
I agree with you. Greg seemed like he's definitely just go with the flow type person. And, he got the nose ring. He got the boots. He's giving a little 50 Shades of Grey vibes, BDSM vibes. Yeah, I highly doubt that might. If she's putting a timeline on when they're going to have sex, I don't think that's going to work for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll see.
We'll see.
And then next we have Brandon and Sienna, and they're playing pool. They're shooting pool. Seem like they're having a little vibe, and then it kind of goes left. But go ahead, baby. Talk about them.
Yeah, so this kind of ended up being a continuation of what we saw during the group experience Kama Sutra thing. So, I started to sense that Sienna, being from, I think she said she was from the Bronx, I've known people from New York, and there could be a little, directness about her, a little attitude, always trying to win arguments. I don't like to paint the wide brush, but, and I'm sensing some of that. Brandon ended up pointing out that, he was starting to observe some inconsistencies in what Sienna's been saying, virtually versus what she's saying now, specifically with her being willing to move to Florida, where now she's like, she wants to stay in New York, period. Mm-hmm. And I gotta believe that Brandon has pointed out numerous times that the fact that he has children, that it isn't that easy for him to just move to New York. Right. But anyway, when he brought that up, she apparently has had other men who have kind of pointed that out. To me, that's a trigger right there. Okay, because he basically brought something up that probably she's acknowledged, that she's heard numerous times. And a lot of people, if they don't know how to handle certain things, what do? Become defensive, deflect. And she instantly started exhibiting that behavior.
Yeah, that was a little strange. It's kind of just out of nowhere. All you hear is, you're a B. I'm like, what? What did he do?
Being very disrespectful.
Very disrespectful. I would not continue with this lady.
The whole defense mechanism kicked in. So what does she do? Okay, you pointed something out about me. Now I'm going to point something about your inconsistencies. And apparently she believes his inconsistency is the fact that he has 2 kids from 2 different women, that he hasn't been able to have successful relationships with the mothers of those children. And I'm like, that doesn't even have anything to do with what he just pointed out. This was just the first thing that she can grab at to throw back at him because she's becoming defensive. Personally, I have zero tolerance for women who behave in that manner, because I promise you are going to be dealing with this on a regular basis, about all different type of issues. And, Brandon has also showed in just this scene alone how passive he is, like willing to accept this woman, calling him out of his name, kind of actually being the dominant one in the conversation, just like during the group experience when she picked the position. She didn't even confer with him, nothing. This is what we're going to do. She's a very strong-minded, strong-willed person, and 9 times out of 10, you don't have a chance at a healthy relationship when you're dealing with a person like that.
Right. I think he actually handled it well. I mean, yeah, he could have talked back and went back and forth with her, but sometimes when you meet people like that, just silence is the best response, honestly. You see where she is, you clocked it, keep it moving. Like, I'm not going back and forth with you, and I'm on live TV. I got kids and a reputation to keep. If that's what you got to say, I'm going to allow you to look dumb on your own. And that's it. But what I would do, what I hope he does, is move on.
All right. So in the next scene, everybody's in the kitchen. And, you know, Sienna brings up the situation with Brandon again, actually just blowing him up.
Yeah, I kind of feel like she did that to kind of put him out. Like,
absolutely. And maybe she thought that people were going to co-sign on her point of view. But apparently that backfired because I think everybody was on Brandon's side. Everything about her argument, though, you know, feeling like, you know, the fact that he had a failed marriage, which, by the way, ended when he was 20 or 21. And the man's 35 years old. And actually, I don't even care that it was 21. It could have been 25. It could have been, they could have had a couple years together. You're in your 20s. You don't even know who you are.
Right.
Okay, respect the fact that the man even tried to get married and be with the mother of his child. Clearly, it didn't work, probably for a variety of reasons. Mainly that you're a kid trying to marry another kid. And then we don't know the specifics about the second relationship. At the end of the day, they failed. I can almost guarantee that Sienna has had a bunch of failed relationships as well.
Yeah, she's 44.
There's a reason she's never been married, and I'm not going to assume that it's everybody else and it's not her based off of what I'm seeing.
Right.
All right, she's definitely complicit in that. So she's given no grace to this man, you know, and I think everybody else felt the same way.
Yeah, and I just find it strange that she's 44 years old and she's talking like this, right?
It is very strange.
Yeah, I'm like, girl.
Yeah. And then what about the fact that you've been talking to this guy for how long? Years. And now it's a problem?
Yeah, I think she just want to blow him up on live TV. Honestly, that's what I'm getting.
Well, she looks real pathetic.
She does.
And she looks immature with just this point of view right here.
Right. Yeah.
You know, the fact that people are even on this show, right, trying to make something of these, you know, months-long or year-long virtual relationships, I mean, that speaks to the fact that everybody's in pursuit of that long-term healthy situation because clearly the stuff before it has failed. Yeah. You know, so I just feel like she's being very judgmental and acting as if she's got everything together and he's the problem.
Right. And honestly, in this, she seems like she's the problem. She seems like she's the toxic person. And I really hope he dumps her.
He needs to leave that woman. That woman's gonna be problems.
It's not good, y'all.
Yeah.
And then I'm so glad that everyone called her out, baby.
Absolutely.
Everybody called her out. The women, which I love that about women. I feel like a lot of times women hold each other accountable instead of trying to, you know, we call them out. You know, I feel like that.
I agree.
You know, it was nobody was on her side. Absolutely no one. They were like, and even somebody said, I mean, how many relationships have you been in? Have they failed? And she was like, yeah, but it hasn't been a marriage. Well, it's not a difference. It still failed.
And I mean, and the fact that we're even talking about something that happened at 21 years old.
Yeah. And then he had his second child 10 years later. Like, it doesn't show reckless behavior.
No.
You know? No. So, I don't know. Sorry, Sienna. You're the weakest link here.
All right. So, after the whole kitchen scene, Brandon ends up talking to Millie, and then Sienna ends up talking to Greg. Mm-hmm. And, you know, Sienna was just kind of basically saying that, you know, there's some incompatibilities. And I think what I was getting from that conversation is that maybe she feels like Brandon hasn't been very clear about what he wants and what his expectations are in this relationship, and that she just wants him to say it. And I'm not buying all that.
Me neither.
I mean, you know why you're here. And, you know, you were talking for all this time. Clearly, you were talking with an ultimate goal of being in something. I mean, does he really have to restate this? I mean, I am a fan of being very clear with your intentions. But it's just hard for me to believe that you're here and you feel like, okay, maybe he's still looking at you as a friend. I'm not.
Yeah, they've been dating for 6 months. I don't believe it. I'm not buying it. I think this is an excuse, a cop-out. She's not holding herself accountable at all. Brandon and Millie is talking. Millie, you know, saying that she understands how Sienna feels. Basically saying Sienna is looking for more of an alpha male, maybe somebody to speak up, you know?
Which I understand where she's going with that, but I promise you, alpha males will have a horrible experience with Sienna because she thinks she's an alpha.
Yeah, and then on top of that, an alpha man is not going to raise his voice or disrespect you. So the way you're treating him and yelling him and calling him a B, an alpha male is not going to go call you a B too, you know?
Yeah.
He's not going to go back and forth with you, so...
A true alpha.
Yeah,
a
true
secure
alpha,
because there's a lot of fake alphas out there.
Exactly.
A true alpha, a confident alpha will not stoop down to the level of somebody acting that way.
Right, exactly. Thanks for clarifying that, baby. Yes. Because there's a lot of men on the net thinking that they're alpha, but they insecure and beta, which doesn't make... Anyways, nonetheless... and then
Sienna walks
in and she's offended that he's talking to another woman, but she was just talking to another guy. It's just, this is the inconsistency. I honestly feel like this girl got issues.
I mean, just to think about that
some
for
mental
a second.
stuff.
She was just talking to Greg, and now you have an attitude because he's talking to Millie. It's ridiculous. So yes, I'm not surprised now about her getting called out for inconsistencies by multiple men because you're seeing it. Yeah, this lady is toxic. I cannot believe she's 44. This is not good at all. This is not good. And I think this girl, some mental stuff is going on at this point. Exactly. It's not. It's kind of strange. Nonetheless, one episode down, y'all. This was, at first we didn't think we was gonna like the show. Yeah. But it's decent. It's decent, and it's providing, a lot of different dynamics because of the fact that some people have been together for months, others for years. There's different age groups, different perspectives, different parts of the country. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of variables in there that is kind of making it entertaining. Yeah, it's definitely entertaining. So, thank you guys for kind of pushing us to watch this show. Yes, appreciate it. And just don't forget to join the giveaway. I'll put the instructions on the screen right now. So look at the screen. You'll see the instructions on how to enter. I'll also put it in the description box below. We'll have the instructions there. Super easy. And for additional entries, just keep commenting because we decided to make this giveaway so long. Like we said, the giveaway closed May 15th. Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. We had a great time filming this, and we are looking forward to future episodes. Yes. Anything you want to add, Pookie Bear? Nothing. Just appreciate y'all, and make sure you like, subscribe, and, add some stuff in the comment section. Yeah, comment down below. Comment your Instagram to enter the giveaway. And on that note, TND is out. Ow! Bye, y'all.